Lately, I'm finding it hard to keep up with Govee's ever-growing product line because they have been on an absolute tear over the past year, dropping product after product, even products on top of products. But looking back on it all, as we approach 2022, it has been one heck of a wild ride, to say the least. The Govee Hexa Wall Panel Lite is one of the latest releases to hit the market, but it is backed by an even more exciting development that comes to us in the form of a software update, a Philips Hue-like TV color syncing feature that has been dubbed Highlight. For this video, we'll take a look at the Hexa and a very cool life hack that will take your panels to the next level. And of course, you know we have to do a deep dive on the Highlight feature. And during the process, we'll also take a look at a number of other new releases to gauge how they perform within the Govee TV ecosystem. The Hexa Wall Panel Lite kit ships in a moderately sized box that has a surprisingly good amount of weight to it, and as has come to be expected, the packaging is decorated in the magenta and purple hues that always instills a sense of calm and serenity. At a glance, here are all components included inside. At the forefront, we have 10 hexagon-shaped light panels, which measure just about 6.5 inches across, and the mounting plates as well as the double-sided tape comes pre-attached. We also have 10 bendable linking cables that measure just over 6 inches in length, a single control box, the AC wall adapter, an orientation piece that's used for installation, a leveler, 2 additional double-sided sticky pads, and a quick start guide that actually pulls up a very useful installation video via the provided QR code. When the time comes to install the panels up on your wall, if you've ever owned or installed any of Nanoleaf's wall panels, you immediately realize that there is no auto detection feature for the panels when they are either added on or repositioned. But to Govee's credit, when going through the pairing and installation process, the app holds your hand, probably more tightly than any other Govee device installation before it. It literally walks you through the installation for each and every panel one by one, which I honestly found to be overly thorough, but if you're new to the panel light game, this is something that you will probably appreciate. When your Hexa panels arrive, if all prep and everything else goes out the window, remember this basic principle and you really can't go wrong. Each connection link has a U-shaped head on one end and a flat-shaped head on the other. All panels are one and the same, so the flat head can be placed in any of the terminal slots on the back of any of the 10 panels, with the exception of the slot that is not numbered and has an arrow indicator beneath it. On the flip side, the U-shaped head will only fit the non-numbered slot that has that arrow, so flat head, any of the numbered slots, U-shaped head, only the arrow slot. Remember that, and that you can only use a max of 2 linking cables per panel, and with the help of the tutorial video and the app walkthrough, it really should be easy sailing. Because the linking cables are bendable, you can curve the Hexa effortlessly around corners as shown. And I want to emphasize that you don't have to have a gap at the corner as you see on my set. You can indeed have the panels positioned snugly together for a seamless look. And the only reason that I have a gap is because this is actually a cabinet with a swinging door. So that slight gap is necessary in order to operate the door as normal. But it's pretty cool that when the cabinet door is fully pulled back, that gap disappears and the line of panels becomes seamless. Just something to keep in mind to get the creative juices flowing. Now, what sets the Hexa apart from the highly acclaimed Nanoleaf wall panels? Well, outside of MSRP, the first immediate apparent advantage that the Hexa has over the Nanoleaf canvas and the Rhythm Light panels, which I've owned for several years now, is that each and every individual Hexa panel can produce a multicolor line of lights. And it's funny, because I never really gave this much thought with the Nanoleaf panels before the Hexa arrived, because the Nanoleaf panels do a really great job of rolling the colors from panel to panel and manipulating brightness to create the illusion of RGB-IC tech. But after seeing how colors of each Hexa panel gradually ripples from one side of the panel to the next, the difference is night and day. The dreamlike scene is especially good for showing this off. The next advantage that I would say the Hexa has over the Nanoleaf panels is not something that you can immediately see, a much more stable Wi-Fi connection, because my Nanoleaf panels are notorious for going offline at random parts of the day, though they do generally reconnect on the back end automatically. But it has become all too common at this point for Alexa to announce that my Nanoleaf panels are no longer responding. As with the majority of Govee products, the Hexa connection is very solid, though there is a bit of a delay when operating the device inside the app, as it works to establish a Bluetooth connection. As far as features go, there is just a ridiculous amount of customization options at your fingertips for Hexa, from 6 music modes 28 scene modes, and the ability to adjust directional movement of the lights for each and every scene, as well as DIY effects, though you can make a few more granular customizations for Nanoleaf, and there is a larger catalog of community DIY scenes and effects to choose from. When it comes to overall brightness, the Hexa is very much on par with my Nanoleaf canvas panels, but the triangular rhythm panels blow them both out of the water. They are nearly twice as bright, but if I'm being honest, I never crank these panels up to 100% for that very reason, unless I'm using them as supplemental lighting while I'm shooting a video. If you're interested in taking the Hexa to the next level, so you can have even more flexibility with the panels, and in my opinion, an even more compelling TV seeking experience, then this section of the video is for you. Hexagon-shaped sound panels have been rising in popularity over the last couple of months, and there's even a trend starting where people are attaching light strips around the sound panel to make them pop at night. Personally, I think this is a pretty ingenious idea, but I wanted to try something a little bit different with merging 14-inch sound panels with the 6-inch hexagon light panels. But I wanted to achieve a softer glow behind the panels, and I wanted to hide the LED beads as best as possible to create a clean and seamless look. So I ultimately decided on these 15-inch cable raceways to achieve the look. I experimented first with laying the panels down, backside up, and then I cut the raceway pieces to fit within the scope of my desired design. Once I was satisfied enough, I added some electrical tape to the top and bottom of the raceway pieces to prevent them from sliding, and then I attached the raceway pieces to the wall using the provided double-sided tape. Next, I ran a 16-foot RGB-IC Pro light strip all the way around the border. And finally, I attached the Hexa light panels directly to the raceway, leaving a slight gap between each one, followed by the hexagon foam panels using a very gummy double-sided tape that I picked up on Amazon. And this is the result. Very simple but effective. This hack adds a new dimensional layer to the Hexa that I think looks absolutely stunning. Now I can run the Pro Light Strip backlight on its own, which creates a soft glow around both the light and the foam panel. And as you can see, when doing so, the light faintly permeates through the Hexa panels. Or I can fire up the Hexa panels themselves alongside the strip, and the various combinations that you're able to create are virtually limitless. So if you haven't been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you know Govee recently dropped probably their biggest and most anticipated app update ever, because it includes a TV color syncing feature that allows separately sold light products to synchronize with your TV using the 1080p camera of the latest Govee Immersion light kits. Now this is a huge deal because no other smart light manufacturer outside of Philips Hue offers a seamless, large-scale comparable feature for the living room. Because while Nanoleaf's screen mirroring feature is certainly more than a worthy mention, it's much more geared towards PC and desktop setups, and the only means of taking advantage of the screen mirroring feature in the living room is by connecting a laptop or PC to your TV via HDMI, or by using Apple Play or Chromecast devices to cast your content from a nearby computer to the TV, which is not going to be very ideal for most people. So when it comes to wall panel lights in living room setups, alongside streaming content, gaming on your PS5 or Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, etc., the Govee Hexa is the only current wall light panel option that can seamlessly sync with your TV, because Philips Hue has yet to dabble in the space. On to the highlight feature specifics. First and foremost, there are 20 different color zone options available to you inside the highlight feature, which is very impressive. Though you definitely won't be able to leverage each and every zone or anything close to that because there are a number of limitations for this new feature at the moment. Probably the biggest is that a single control box can only control a max of 5 separately sold light products. When I first started playing with highlight, 5 products seemed fairly manageable, but as you'll see as you begin to build out your Govee TV ecosystem, that 5 product cap is going to hit fast. The second overall limitation for the highlight feature altogether is that you cannot regulate brightness on a product by product basis. Not all Govee light products are created equally. Some produce a higher lumen output than others, such as the Hexa. And with the current setup for the highlight feature, you're unable to dial in the brightness for each and every one of your products to have a more even distribution of brightness. Now, with all that said, I've actually found an immediate workaround for these 2 major drawbacks, for the 5 product cap and the brightness issue, and so Govee is hopefully able to release an update to address these limitations. 2 cameras. Now I know this is not ideal in any way, shape, or form, and to be honest, if I hadn't come up with my camera hack system a few months back, I wouldn't even consider it. But with this setup, 1 camera or 2 is honestly all the same from a visual standpoint. By using a second camera, I can instantly add 5 additional devices to my TV syncing system, And I can also regulate the brightness for these 5 additional products independently of the main immersion backlight. The setup on the back end is a second set of light bars mounted beneath my TV cabinet that's paired up with an independent control box. I have these light bars and all products that are linked to it run at 15% brightness. A pro tip: before you install strips to be used for highlight, pull up a test video that splits the screen right down the middle and then set the zones accordingly inside the app. Then locate that sweet center spot on the strip and ensure that it's perfectly centered wherever you're going to be installing them.
Demo. Mr. Tech suggests.
If you guys are interested in picking up additional Govee products for the highlight feature, out of all of the products that I've tried so far, I found that the RGBIC Pro Strip, followed by the Lyra and the Neon Rope, were the top performers in terms of their ability to accurately translate colors in line with the immersion. The Neon is a 10-foot flexible diffused light strip that I think looks absolutely stunning no matter where you choose to place it. You can bend and install this rope light with all sorts of different shapes and designs, and it comes equipped with a ton of scenes and customization levers. I decided to install the Neon underneath my couch because unlike traditional light strips, the bracket system makes it easy to install on wood and non-smooth surfaces using the provided mini screws. I really like the fact that when I'm ready to change out my furniture, I can simply detach the rope from the brackets. With light strips, once you get that first good use in, it's pretty much a wrap. The Govee Glide and Lively Wall Light were next on my list as they're able to leverage multiple color zones as well, though I found their performance was not quite as strong. The Glide Lively Wall Light is very similar to the original Glide, with the exception that it's slightly thinner. It doesn't ship with any curved corner pieces, and it can be used in 2 parts, so that you can position it on either side of a TV or a couch, for example. The next top performers for the highlight feature, I'd say, was the Hexa, followed by the Star Pal, the Aura Table Lamp, and finally the RGBWW Smart Bulb, because these products unfortunately can only leverage a single dominant color at the moment. But I'm hopeful that for products such as the Hexa and the Aura, this limitation will soon be a thing of the past. The Hexa especially has so much potential to really kill it in the highlight feature after seeing the panel-by-panel RGBIC tech that it's equipped with. But for the time being, if you duplicate this hack, you can create a multicolor line effect with the Hexa, be it at a more limited capacity. Overall, I'm really digging the new highlight feature because it has really enriched the Govee product line. Now whenever you pick up a new Govee product, the features that you have at your disposal are even more exciting. Music modes, scene modes, DIY customizations, and now they can all be synced up with your TV. Now, with all of that said, there are a number of areas that still need to be fine-tuned to better improve the overall highlight feature experience. First off, I've noticed that when the screen is predominantly black, some odd colors for sync products can emerge, especially at lower brightness levels, while the immersion and the linked bars are consistent in downshifting to a cool white glow. Secondly, color transition can also be smoother as well to better mimic the immersion's handling, and load times to sync up all of your products within highlight can get pretty lengthy inside of the app. Thirdly, as I touched on earlier, products are not individually responsive when highlight is active, but at the very least, we really need the option to regulate brightness on a device level to ensure that we're getting the most optimal experience for our environment. Moving forward, I would also like to see more integration with voice assistants in third-party platforms such as IFTTT, because as it stands now, the only means of activating the highlight feature is by going inside of the app to manually toggle it on. And lastly, while my camera hack that I've been using for many months now really does help to clean things up and improve the overall user experience, it would be amazing to see new innovative ideas for the camera with newer models. Ideas that would aid in fitting the camera into living room setups more seamlessly. Perhaps designs that help the camera look and feel more decor-centric. But all nitpicks aside, the highlight feature right out of the gates, be it still in beta, is much more reliable and sophisticated in the early stages than I anticipated. And if Govee continues to direct their resources towards it, there's nowhere to go but up from here. This feature has been long overdue, but I think that I speak for many when I say that I'm happy it's finally arrived. I'm excited to see how things progress over the coming weeks and months ahead as more new products are introduced, because as it stands today, the Govee TV ecosystem has the fewest barriers of entry of any competing brand in the space. You can sync your lights while gaming at 4K 120Hz refresh rate. You don't need to cast your content from a PC or Mac. You can stream content from your TV's built-in smart TV apps, and you can do all of this without having to worry about DRM restricted content that HDMI TV syncing products such as the Philips Hue Sync Box are becoming more and more plagued with. I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful. And if you have any general questions for me, leave them down in the comments below and I will do my very best to get back with you. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.